Hello everyone, my name is Jacinta Zabikwa. I'm the founder of Evergreen Digital Tech Solution. If you are in need of in-depth training that takes you from beginner to job ready, or you are a newbie and you need hands-on practical training, you can register and learn with us from anywhere in the world. All you need to do is register on our website at www.evergreendigital.com.ng. I'll take it again. Register with us at www.evergreendigital.com.ng. I'm going to leave that in the description box. You can check out our website. Today, we bring to you an interactive dashboard created in Excel. Most people believe Excel is used only for data entry and calculations, but we're going to show you how to create a personal finance tracker with Excel. Let's welcome our trainer, Mr. Freedom. He's a data-driven professional, a credit risk analyst, and he's going to be showing us how to create this project with Excel. I'm excited and I hope you're all excited too. Please feel free to leave your questions in the comment section and we'll attend to them. If you want to practice along, the link to the dataset is made available in the description box. Over to you, Mr. Freedom.
Good evening. Good evening, everybody. Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to be here, actually. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, thank you so much for having me. It's a pleasure to be here. When I got the text to do this, I was so I was so surprised, actually. But here we are. So it's going to be like a good day. Today, I heard someone asking, what are we going to learn today? We're going to learn how to create a personal finance tracker using Excel. And I think when we dive into it, you get to see how I approach the data set.
Awesome. Awesome.
Okay. So should we get started now?
Yes, please.
Okay. Can you see my screen?
Yes, your screen is up.
Okay. This is the personal finance tracker, which we're going to be recreating today. And as you can see, you will see how we approach the personal finance tracker. We're able to display the balance, spendings, income, top spendings, the sources of income. We also show the trends and patterns in which the income and expenses were coming in and out of the accounts. So this is what we're going to be working with. The dashboard is powered by the pivot tables, which we're going to use to power the dashboard. Because everything needs to be powered by the dashboard, by the pivot tables, so that the sliders can work better on it. So this is what we're trying to recreate today. So thank you guys for coming, and I think we'll get into it now. For this data set, I broke it down into four steps. The first step is to prep your data to try to understand the data set you're working with. So I think if you downloaded your data set by now, there's the resources in the description below. You could check it out and see. So we first to understand our data set, understand it, so you check all the columns, the date is the day of the transaction. And from the view of it, you could see the data set looks like um, a bank statement. And a bank statement is kind of like my specialty due to my experience as a credit risk analyst. During my time there, I normally work with bank statement a lot. So when I came across this data set, it was easy for me to approach it because I knew what I wanted to understand. And here we're trying to understand the income and the expenses, the way the income comes in, how money comes in and how money goes out, the debits, the credits, the subcategory. It shows what the expenses is, what the income is able to describe them, what the money is going, what is bringing the money in and what is taking the money out, and also the category as well. And also this is the category type. It shows which is income, which is expenses, and also the month number, weekday, and net amount. So from here, we could get to go through it before we move to our pivot table. This is already cleaned, and you could check out the data set. I think one thing I didn't add to the data set because this is the calculated column. I use the text function to do this. The calculated column I added, I think I didn't remove them, so they're still there if you get it. And this is the month number. And one thing I wanted to add, one more column I want to add is the month name. So this will be the month name. We will also be using the text function to get this. So we use the value. The value is the date, and we're going to be using our MMM, the date tab. So the MMM will show the date in a short format, while the MM 4M shows the longer format of the date. So here we could rename this to be the month name. This will be the month name. We get to see that the records from the transaction is from January to October. So this is a 10-month field of transactions that happened within the month of January to October. So when we dive into it, we get to like understand the patterns in which the data set is going to go. I believe this is going to be fun. Yeah, so let's get into it. So from here, we've been able to understand our data. We saw the dates, the description, the debits, the credits, the subcategory, the category type. Understanding your data set helps you understand how you're going to approach your data. And also your net amount is the balance of each transaction. So here you could see the credit 5,000 when there was a debit is a minus. So it shows all the balance and it will show you the complete balance afterwards. So from here, we're going to insert our pivot tables so we could get into the analysis fully and try to break them down into smaller things. So I believe if you're just joining, we are building a personal finance tracker. This is what we're trying to build. We're trying to build a personal finance tracker, trying to build this from scratch and see how we could get it done. So if you're just joining, you could see the on the description below, you see the data set, you see a copy of the personal finance you already made and also a copy of the data set as well. So you could walk through it. So right now we'll be inserting our pivot tables. So let me insert my pivot tables. So we're using an existing worksheet because we already have a place for calculations in our workbook. So we're using the calculation and so our pivot tables are open. So first of the few things we're trying to understand is we're trying to understand the balance, the total spending, the total income. Also know the income sources, the top spending, which is housing, groceries, clothes, entertainment, and cash loan. And also know how we do the monthly trend and weekly trend. And after we're done with the analysis, we'll move to the top part, which will be our wireframing, how I use Excel to wireframe. If you check your workbook, I added a place for colors where I wrote the X code of each colors we're going to be using throughout. And also I added icons as well. So no need for you to leave your workbook to do anything. All the icons are downloaded from Flat Icon. You could check them out. They have amazing icons and you could edit them the colors you want and the way you want it to be. So let's move ahead. So the calculation, now we're trying to identify. Yeah, I added the card number and validate true. This will just be what we add to our KPI card we're going to be using. So the first thing we want to do is know the total debits. We put them in the value side of our pivot table field. This is the total debits, this is the total credits, and also the net amount, which would be the balance. So here you could see all the total of these three. So for me, I normally just write them outside of the pivot table. I bring them outside of the pivot table for my own to write on my KPI cards. So let's just say KPI cards. So this will be income, spending, and balance. So for the income is credits. This is total income. Debit is the total spending. And net amount is the total balance because after the calculation of everything on the data set, we're able to get that 5,249 net dollar. Yeah, dollars. So yeah. So this will be our KPI cards. So no need to use your format painter to paint this. So from here we've gotten our KPI cards, and if you check our dashboard, you understand that we got the spending, income, and the balance already. So now we want to get the income sources from our data set. So we're using pivot tables. So let's just move ahead like this. So here we remove this. So the income sources, this is category, so subcategory as social credit. With the subcategory, we use the category type. We filter by category type, which would be our income. So you could see the top incomes are data with decisions, teachable, and YouTube. So if you want to arrange them in order, we could sort them from largest to smallest. You can see YouTube also is the second generating income, then teachable. So yeah, this already answers our top sources of income. So after this, let me just look at this sources of income sources. So yeah, so this is our income sources. So the next of our list is to check our top spending to see which of, so we're trying to check our top spending. And most of our spending comes from the debit side. So the debit side is coming to our value, and the subcategory, we are filtering it by expenses, which is this. This is all our, so if we check, I want to see the largest. You see rents go the highest, groceries, clothing, entertainment, and cash loan. But we only need the top five. So we're going to go like this. We're going to filter by top. So reduce this to five. So this is the top five expenses that we spend, all the top spendings we did. This is the top five. We already got the top five spending. We got the income sources. Now we are going to move to understanding the monthly trend income, and spending, the weekly trend income and spending. So to get the weekly trend and monthly trend, uh, monthly trend. So we'll use month name. This is debit. and this is credits. So this one will show the monthly trend. And this is our top spending. So this is our monthly trend. We'll also need our weekly trend. So for our weekly trend, we just move this and put our weekday. So you see from Monday to Sunday, this is January to October as well. So from here, you could see our weekly trend, our monthly trend. So if you see, it's like very straightforward because we're just trying to understand our income and our expenses throughout the 10 months, which is from January to October. If you're just joining us, this is our data set. We're working with this data set. Data set has about 11 columns or three, four, 11 columns. This is our icons all downloaded into our worksheet. So it should be like for easy access and anytime. I also took the opportunity to add the colors I use for the gradient and the colors I use for the chart as well. So just for easy access and just for you to not stress yourself about colors. I know colors is like one of the stressful parts you get when you're building a dashboard. So if you're trying to build a dashboard and you're struggling with colors, you could check out image color pickers. When you find like a dashboard you want to do, you could just use the image, you could drop it in, maybe like any dashboard you want to build. Maybe you want to build this. So when you place it, you get the color, the X code from it. So I think this is easier for you to get colors if you're struggling with getting colors. And also for inspos, you could use Pinterest and all Dribble. There are a lot of platforms you could get inspos from. And also on LinkedIn and Twitter, you can see people's posts and people's dashboard. You could get ideas from it, see the way they presented their data set. You have like an opportunity on how you could present it better. So I created a sheet where we're going to be building our dashboard. So for now, we've answered few questions from the data set. I also want to know our max income and max expenses, which will be, so the max debit is, we spent 900 max, and for credit, 5,000 max. 5,000 is the largest amount that came in. $900 is the largest amount that went out. So $5,000 is the highest amount that came in. I think I added it to the dashboard here, the max spending and max income, just to add to it. And the slicers, we use our month by month for slicers just to understand the patterns in the balance, the spending month by month, and also this. So from now, I think we're done with our analysis using pivot tables. So now we're going to the main part. This is where we get creative and try to be creative. We'll be wireframing our dashboard now. So the first thing I do is after I go to sheet, you remove your grid lines. I already did. So you could see I removed my grid lines already. So now it's for me to get my background done. So on here we did the dark background, the dark theme dashboard. Although when I started it, I intentionally wanted to use a light theme. But halfway into it, I just enjoyed it and I was like, okay, dark theme wouldn't look bad. So I started building, I just switched to a dark theme. So for me, it's fun. Building dashboards is like the fun part of it. Cleaning and analyzing, I think that's where the art part is. But when you get to building dashboard, it's just where you play around with colors, try out what works best, try to understand what you're going to use. Okay, I think I forgot something. I didn't add the monthly trend I use on the KPI card, which I'm going to add to the pivot tables now. So let me add that to our calculations. So For the trend, the sum. We use the sum for on our monthly. The trend is month by month, so we use numbers so it's easier. So you can see the trend from January to October for the income. Let's do one for the debits, which is the spending. So you could just have a little pattern like I did on my dashboard here. Just add a little pattern on it on how the incomes was going in and out. Here we use the line charts. You can see when I touch them, you know that they're all charts. And here we use a pie chart, we use a column chart here as well. So when we get into it, we get to, for now, let's wireframe. Let's wireframe the dashboard, let's structure it out to see, at least you already have a sample of what you're going to do. So it's not going to be too hard. Naturally, when you're doing it from the scratch, it's always confusing because you're trying out how you're going to place the data sets. Do I need 4 KPI? Do I need 1 KPI? So that's where the struggle is actually. But when you get into it, you get to understand that. mm, but when you already have like an inspo, you're going to be using, it's not a struggle any longer. You just get to flex on it and adjust. So this color is our background color, and it's also going to be used for our shapes. This is what we use for our card color. The gradient color, I use 4 different shades of purple just to get this. So we're going to flex on this. I also added the sliders here so we don't get to format sliders so it doesn't take too long. So it's added to our sliders formatly, defaultly. So let's get into it. So let's start to wireframe our dashboard. So first off, we're going to change our background. So our background, I think this is our background. You can check the S code to confirm. So yeah, this is our background, and yeah, this is our background. So now let's start to bring in our shapes. For dashboards on Excel, I think it's easy in as much as we have Figma and we use PowerPoint as well to wireframe, but sometimes wireframing on Excel is easy for me because I just get creative with it because this is my Canva. I just play around with colors, with shapes, and I get to do what I want to do with it. So the first shape we'll be using the curved triangle. We're trying to get our card visuals for this will be for the ATM card looking KPI card. Trying to get that visuals for that. So yeah, use 4 by 8. Yeah, okay. Okay. 8. Okay. I think this is good. This is good to go. So for this, let's format this. Format shape. Okay. So we use our gradient color. Yeah, we position it the direction to 180 degrees. So where the colors is coming from the darker shade to the lighter shade. So now we get to change our colors. Let's do that now. So the first color we use is this. Mm, So yeah, okay. That's the darkest shade. Now we change the next color. So this is the next color. Yeah, we do one more. So I use 4 colors for this. There's different shades of purple to be able to get the color I wanted because I wanted one side to be dark and the other side to be light. Just makes it different. I don't want it to be just a solid color, just a solid plain color or solid purple. So I added different shades of purple just to get this. And also this, the last one is this. Okay, this, so this. We off our line and we adjust this a little bit. We want it to be down there. And let's adjust it to get what you were looking for. So we add shadow on this. So you just add to the fill. So now this will be our card for our balance. So let's add other shapes on this. So this will be for the income. Remind me, I'm obsessed with alignment, although I'm going to align it again. Income we use on 3.9. You know, so this will be using the dark, and we're going to off the line. No line. We add shadows to it because it's the same color with our background. So we're trying to make it stand out, even though it's there. We get to like see it there because of the shadow on it. It just gives it an extra effect for it to show. Mhm. So we just do this. So make a copy of this as well. So yeah, we're going to create the top spendings here. Top spendings here. So just in case you're not getting it, let me change the background back to white so you could get to see what I'm doing. So this is it. So I'm trying to align this and this. So the lengths are much. Let me reduce the length. Okay. So this is okay. Trying to make this look. Okay. Alignment is good. When you get to align your work, you just enjoy it. You could already see what you're trying to achieve before then. So the income, so yeah, um, okay. So I think this should do. So, so the income sources goes underneath this. So try to do it like this. Okay. So this is me wireframing the dashboard. So this is where our income sources comes in. So yeah, just to be sure they're all aligned and align the top. So yeah, so there's and the top a little bit. Yeah, okay. So and underneath this is where our trend goes to. The trend goes underneath. Yeah, okay. Okay, this is where our chart is going to go into our monthly and weekly trend, our income sources, our top spending, income, expenses. So one more thing is the navigation bar. Let's add that. Add shadows to basically to give it that feeling. And okay, in the top of it, okay, color it, move it to the side. Okay, I think this should do. This is 100. I like to build my data 100%. So when you zoom it out, you could see what you're doing. If you zoom up to 80, you could see everything at once. If you want to move it to the middle, you could just drag it to the middle here, just for like better view when you're working on your data set. So this is the wireframe for it, and your wireframe is not complete if you don't label them. So you get to understand where you're placing all your data sets. So I think this is what you're working with. This is where our balance is going to income, expenses, top spending, income sources, and weekly trend with our navigation bar. I think I should make this quite a bit. Okay. So our navigation bar, this is what you're going to be working with. And you could do this anytime, any day. But when you're doing your wireframe, you have to already have an inspo or have an idea of what you're doing. If you're going to make a lot of changes, I always recommend you doing like a rough sketch on the paper, understand where you're putting your KPIs, which one is coming first. And when you're building your dashboard, also apply UI principles. There's also called visual hierarchy, understanding what visual goes first, how the text should be bold, what is more important, stays bold, what is not important, stays shallow. Do you understand what I'm saying? So that's what you're going to be doing if you're working on the dashboard. Also give people an opportunity to feel what you're doing and get to see it and just understand what you're doing. So for now, we'll be labeling our dashboard. So we'll be labeling this, and this. And for the labeling to be okay, we have to bring our icons in so you get to see what we're trying to achieve. So for now, I'll be using the MasterCard here. So this will be going to this. This is going to this. Let me add, let me start to add text to our dashboard. So wireframe. So okay. So this is MasterCard. MasterCard. Okay. All this. I like to do my text outside of it so I don't scatter what I already done. So let's just do it. Can reduce the text and change the color to okay. Yeah. It doesn't suit better, so we have to reduce it even more. Yeah, make it bold and yeah. And that's it. MasterCard. It could increase it a little bit. Okay. This is your MasterCard. Yeah. So on here we also have our balance and your card number. We'll bring them in when we're trying to bring in every other thing. The card number we're going to be using and the value date you're using to make it have that ATM feel. So when people see it, you're going to think it's an ATM card or visual. So this is the MasterCard. This is where our income is going, spending is going, top spending. Yeah, so let's just continue. So yeah, here we have our income. We have our income here. Yeah, we have our spending. Okay, so the spending goes here, the income goes here. I think this is too bright, so I keep that color a little bit. Okay, so this is our income. This is our spending. Okay, this is spending, this is income. Okay, so align them right. Okay, so yeah. Here we have our top spending, like we did here. We have our top spending, income spend. Okay, that's spending, income, top spending. Either way, I'll just change it to spending, income, top spending. So spending. So this is spending, income. So here will be here will be our top spending, top spending. And yeah, so we also have icons. We're going to be bringing them in. And we're going to be bringing them in. So yeah, looking forward to this. Yeah, we can increase this to 11 top spending. Let's see. So yeah, this is our top spending. And here we have our income sources. Here we have our income sources. We have our income sources here. Okay. Here we also have icons in there, which are going to be bringing in as well. And align this way. And then we bring in this. I think by now you already get an idea of what we're trying to achieve. We've done this. There's some title done. So this data registration. This is YouTube. This is teachable. Okay. Yeah. This is it. Okay. So these are the income sources. Here we are going to have the weekly trend and the monthly trend, like we have here. We have the monthly trend, income and expenses, weekly trend, income and expenses, available balance. So all we are going to add all this as well. And I forgot to add our navigation board where we use to navigate in and out of the dashboard. Okay. So yeah, let me do that then. Yeah. Okay. Just align this. Okay. Okay. So here we have our dashboard. So yeah. So here we'll place our dashboard navigation. Here we'll put our worksheet. So I also add icons for that as well, just to distinguish them. This worksheet. This dashboard I use the purple color for this. This is spreadsheet. Spreadsheet is our dashboard. Okay. So if you want to link your dashboard or your spreadsheet, you could link, just link it, a place in the document, dashboard already. Sometimes it takes here. And do the same for this. I link this and it takes you to the data set or your calculation, whichever one you want. So when I click this, it takes me here. So yeah, so that's what we use for navigation through the sheets. I don't need this. Um, so yeah, we are adding our weekly trend, income and expenses, income and spending.
Hello, Mr. Freedom. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes. So we have some feedback from the YouTube. Some people said they can't hear you clearly. So
Okay,
yes,
but can
and
you hear
you
me
have
clearly?
yes, I can, but maybe just increase a little bit for those that
Okay,
can't hear you. Yes, and then you
okay,
have some of your followers from LinkedIn shouting out, some of your followers from Twitter, they're sending a shout
okay.
out. Yeah.
Thank
So
you.
we just continue.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you all for coming, for joining. And yeah, we're still on the wireframing part of the dashboard, trying to wireframe the dashboard. I'm sorry if you can't hear me. Let me try to increase my volume. So I'll try to speak louder. So if you can't hear me, just let her know so she tells me again. Okay, so this is the monthly trend. This is the weekly trend, just like we have from our dashboard here. So this is the weekly trend, the monthly trend, income and expenses, weekly trends, income and expenses. Here we have the housing, groceries, clothing, entertainment, and cash loan. Yeah, we also brought in the figures for this. We added sliders. Yeah, so let's just label our data so we know what is left is for us to bring in the figures and also bring in our charts into the dashboard. So here we have the available balance and yeah. So let's continue. So let's continue. Let's keep adding. So here we have housing, we have housing on here, which is rent. We have groceries on here as well. And we have groceries. We have groceries on here. We also have clothes. We have clothes on here as well. We have we have entertainment. We have entertainment and we have cash loan. I think that's the final top expense. Here we have cash loan. Yeah, so For the labeling of the dashboard, we are almost done with labeling because I believe in labeling our dashboard before we get to bring our data set, our figures into it. So here we have this and you know, almost done with this. So I don't think there's any other label we have to do. Oh, okay. We have to do our available balance here. Our available balance here. Yeah, let's place our available balance here.
Okay, so I think we lost him. Let's just give him a little moment. He's going to join us back. So I hope we're all replicating this dashboard at our own end. We would like to see your dashboard after you're done replicating. If you're on LinkedIn, please do post it. Tag Mr. Freedom. You can also tag us to the post. We'd like to see.
Okay,
We'd like
so
to
I
see
think we
it.
lost him.
Okay. So we're still waiting for him to join back. I'm sure he will be here any minute soon. We're seeing your comments on the chat, on the comments in YouTube. Thank you so much for the support. Please do share to your friends. Do share to your friends, data analyst friends, newbies, people that want to create more projects, that want to create a portfolio. Someone said he's stealing this layout. I think you are permitted to do so. He's literally teaching us how he came about the whole thing. So I think that gives you permission to replicate it. So he said the icons, he downloaded them from Flat Icon. It's a website. Just check it out. Flat Icons. Unfortunately, I think we lost him. Um, we may record the remaining part of the dashboard creation and upload it. Just so we're going to put it in a playlist, like a part two, because unfortunately we've lost him. And I'm sure we want to see how we can conclude this dashboard. So, if you are someone who wants to learn data analysis or virtual assistants, do reach out to us on our website and we'll get back to you immediately. We have a new training going on. Feel free to join us if you're interested in learning data analysis or virtual assistants. Thank you for joining us today. See you. Bye.